£95 per person. This price includes all rides, scheduled flights, meals and accommodation. Game drives cost around £20 per person, and that's with In the Saddle.
That's all from Wish You Were Here, Down Under. I'll see you next time.
And we're travelling the world on Wish You Were Here next Sunday at the same time, 6:15. Well, stay with us for the news in a few moments, and then Sam's persistence finally pays off. Find out why in Emmerdale at 7.
Prepare for your holiday with Slim Fast and Wish You Were Here.
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Lewis, Greater Manchester Police CID. Person who murdered Matthew Tully is out there.
A woman's work is never done.
The intention is to narrow down the list of suspects, not keep on adding to the collection.
Starring Caroline Quentin.
Death in all its glory.
These injuries are quite horrific, Janine. Is a woman really capable of this sort of thing?
Oh, you'd be surprised, sir.
The drama premiere, Blue Murder, tonight at 9, ITV1.
It's a deadly game.
Call me Simon.
And he's the best in vest action.
You mean McClay?
But this time, he won't be sweating it alone.
I'm not jumping through hoops for some psycho.
Does anything in this movie not explode?
The bomb in the traffic gun! I didn't say Simon says.
Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis and Jeremy Irons take the ride of your life.
Yippee-ki-yay.
With a Vengeance, Tuesday at 9 on ITV1.
Well, Durham in North Carolina is known as the diet capital of the world, and Trevor McDonald takes us to Slim City tomorrow night at 8. Good evening, this is ITV1.
Seven die as suicide bombers strike in Israel. Brown's rebuff to Blair over the Euro. Schumacher on fire as he wins in Austria. And braid it like Beckham, David's new do.
The ITV Weekend News with Bill Neely.
Good evening. The Middle East's roadmap to peace is already in danger of going nowhere tonight with the return of carnage to the streets of Israel. A Palestinian suicide bomber disguised as an Orthodox Jew blew himself up on a rush hour bus, killing 7 Israelis. It's the third such attack there in 24 hours. Israel's Prime Minister Ariel Sharon immediately postponed a visit to Washington, and he's now considering how to strike back. Romilly Weeks reports.
Its journey brutally halted. The number 6 bus ended up jackknifed across the road. Few of its passengers can have suspected the young man disguised as an Orthodox Jew who boarded the bus on the outskirts of Jerusalem. But minutes later, the man, a young Palestinian, had detonated a bomb packed with ball bearings, killing 7, wounding 20 others. Another scene of horror for the emergency services, another blow struck against moves towards peace.
What is unfortunately creating a fertile atmosphere for the increase in violence is the failure of the attempt to renew the peace process.
A few hours after the first attack, a second bomber blew himself up, and Ariel Sharon announced he would not be travelling to the US for planned talks on the roadmap to peace.
At this stage, today, after the horrendous actions, the intolerable atrocities of the past 12 hours, he's felt it necessary to be at home with the various discussions that need to be taking place right now in order to see how we can extricate ourselves from the situation we are in and move forward.
As the news reached the families of the suicide bombers, there was grief and fear. They expect their homes will be demolished by the Israeli army as a deterrent to others. At the scene of the bombing, wreaths were laid for the victims. A day after the first top-level talks between the Israeli and Palestinian leaders for 3 years, there's no agreement on a way forward, just more slaughter. Romilly Weeks, ITV News.
Dozens of people are still being questioned in Morocco over the suicide bombings there that killed 41 people, including 13 bombers. The attacks, which happened on Friday night, were deadly enough, but they follow a week of terrorist incidents around the world. 34 people, including 8 Americans, died on Monday when teams of bombers attacked compounds housing Westerners in Saudi Arabia. There's little doubt this was the work of Al-Qaeda. In Kenya, the mere threat of an attack on British planes led to the ending of all UK flights there. A terror warning was later issued about 6 surrounding countries. And then the 5 bombings in Morocco aimed at Western or Jewish targets. Al-Qaeda, it seems, is back, and Western governments are warning of imminent attacks.
Our foe is ruthless, resilient, and hides among innocent people. Terrorists may be many things, but 2 things they are not. They are not right, and they are not winning. On one point, there can be no doubt. We will prevail.
The question, of course, is how. George Bush promises a global manhunt, but Osama bin Laden, for example, is still at large. Other options are limited. America can't bomb Saudi Arabia or Morocco, they're allies. Here, the Foreign Office has stepped up its safety warnings. Security at ports has been tightened. On both sides of the Atlantic, the intelligence services are recruiting hard. But despite all that, this week's death toll proves that a clear and imminent threat from bin Laden and Al-Qaeda remains. Here, the Chancellor, Gordon Brown, put his foot down today, saying he's in charge when it comes to making a decision on the euro. Last week, Tony Blair's officials said it will be the Cabinet that decides if and when a referendum is called. Today, Mr. Blair insisted it's his 5 economic tests that matter. Live now to Libby Wiener in Downing Street. Libby.
Cabinet colleagues who've spent the weekend diligently reading the 18 documents supplied to them by the Treasury on the euro might tonight be forgiven for thinking they'd wasted their time. Listening to Gordon Brown today, he seemed to be suggesting that the only thing that mattered was whether the 5 economic tests had been met, and he was the best judge of that. Back from a meeting with other finance ministers in France, the Chancellor pronounced he was back in charge of policy on the euro here.
I really do believe that all this speculation about what happens then, later, after and so on, it's got to get back to this central question. People want to be sure that they have a Chancellor, they have a Cabinet and they have a government that is putting the national economic interest first. And they want to be sure that the economics and not dogma will be the decisive test.
That after a week in which Mr. Blair and Mr. Brown appeared to be engaged in a battle of wills over the euro. On Wednesday, it was reported the Chancellor had got his way and there'd be no referendum yet. A day later, Number 10 said the Cabinet would make the decision. On Friday, the pair issued a statement denying a rift. Then today, Gordon Brown suggested it was purely an economic issue, a matter for him.
This has become an embarrassing Punch and Judy show. The Chancellor says, I'm the one who decides. The Prime Minister says, no, he isn't. Chancellor says again today, well, yes, I am. It might go to the Cabinet, but it will still be my assessment at the end of the day. This is no way to take a fundamental decision for the future of the country.
From tomorrow, the rest of the Cabinet do get to join the show. Each promised a private audience in Downing Street. But tonight, many may be thinking the script for the euro has already been written well in advance.
Libby, Gordon Brown is putting his foot down here, isn't he?
Well, you could put it like that. Certainly he's signalling very strongly that going against the Chancellor's wishes on this issue is a non-starter. So although a majority of the Cabinet may instinctively be in favour of joining the euro sooner rather than later, he's effectively saying that unless he deems it to be in the national economic interest, it won't happen. Having said that, today he didn't actually rule out there being a referendum in this Parliament, and leaving the door open just a little may well be the compromise that he and Tony Blair have agreed. Less charitably, some people might call it a fudge, but whatever you want to call it, it looks like it's going to be the Brown version of fudge, not the Blairite version.
Libby Wiener in Downing Street, thank you very much indeed. Now, if you're catching the train into work tomorrow, you'd better check to make sure it will actually turn up. Across the country, 100 services have been cut from the new spring timetable. Rail bosses say it's designed to make the rail network more reliable. Transport campaigners aren't impressed. Here's Nick Walton.
Spring often heralds new beginnings, but for rail passengers, it's the same old story. The new timetable signalling higher fares and fewer trains. 100 services have been cut. It comes as operators like First Great Western raise ticket prices by up to 6%.
Well, it looks like passengers are being asked to pay the price yet again. It's not their fault that the railways are in a mess. It's not their fault that the cost of providing services has doubled and tripled since privatisation. There's no reason why they should be the people who are having to pay for that mess.
The Strategic Rail Authority brought in the cuts, arguing too many trains are clogging up the network. The company responsible for improving Britain's railway claims a reduction in services will mean fewer delays.
The service changes that come into effect in the May timetable today are targeted at improving performance and improving reliability by taking out 100 out of 17,500 trains on congested routes. There'll be no summer of misery, there'll be a summer of improved performance, we hope.
But campaigners believe the new timetable is only the tip of the iceberg. A fares review to be announced in the coming months is likely to see further rises in ticket prices. There are also fears more services could soon be at risk. Nick Walton, ITV News.
Sport now, and he's already more dominant in his field than any athlete in any sport. But today, Michael Schumacher took that dominance to new heights. He won the Austrian Grand Prix even though his car caught fire during a pit stop. Alex Thomas watched the drama.
It could be the last ever Austrian Grand Prix and won't be forgotten in a hurry. Twice the start was aborted after Toyota's Christian D'Amata stalled on the grid. Once the race was underway, it turned from fast to fire when Michael Schumacher's routine refuelling stop went wrong and his Ferrari went up in flames.
It's on fire! No, it's on fire!
Quick thinking from the pit crew stopped it getting out of control. It had taken everyone by surprise, although afterwards Schumacher laughed it off.
I guess the mechanics felt I was a little bit too cold and cool and wanted to warm me up.
Formula One organisers have been trying to reignite interest in the sport. This wasn't what they meant. But far from getting hot under the collar, Schumacher blazed off to stage a remarkable recovery. He retook the lead when Juan Pablo Montoya's challenge went up in smoke and took the checkered flag ahead of Kimi Raikkonen and teammate Rubens Barrichello. Alex Thomas, ITV News.
Football, and Rangers ensured a nail-biting finish to the Scottish Premier League after they beat Hearts 2-0 to go level at the top with Celtic. The Dutchman Ronald de Boer gave Rangers the lead 20 minutes into the second half. The result means that Rangers and Celtic go into their final match with 94 points each. Finally, David Beckham's been doing what he does best once again, getting his hair cut. The man of a million hairstyles has just unveiled his latest creation. This time it's not so much bend it like Beckham as braid it like Beckham. Emma Kennedy's been looking at the pictures.
What David Beckham does with a comb has become as much of a talking point as what he does with his feet. Guaranteed to turn heads if not upstage his wife, the latest look was unveiled as he arrived at a restaurant in the south of France. Cane rows, as they're known in the trade, take a couple of hours to style. Beckham's are thought to have cost several £100.
He's a footballer, so I kind of reckon it's going to get ruffled and tousled when he's sort of heavy in the ball and stuff like that, and it's also just general wear and tear, but it looks great. I mean, it's just a box standard sort of cane row all going back.
Over the years, Beckham's had a number of different looks, from bleached blonde to bandana to the simply bald. This time last year, it was the mohawk. His stylist says, yes, there's a consultation, but Beckham has his own ideas.
He comes up with lots of his own haircuts like he does with his own fashion. I mean, people take credit for dressing him or his hair, and David makes up his own mind.
Here, not a hair out of place, but during the World Cup, the England star had other things on his mind.
The hair's getting a little bit long, but I'm definitely not flying any hairdresser out. It's a football tournament, not anything else.
But style icon he is. The question now is how many of the footballer's fans will be braiding it like Beckham. Emma Kennedy, ITV News.
Well, that's it. John Suchet will be here at 10:30, but from me, goodbye.
ITV National Weather, sponsored by PowerGen. PowerGen, power in good hands.
Hello, good evening. I'm afraid it's been a weekend to forget weather-wise, and it remains cool and wet over the next few days. All's not lost, though. At least we're holding out hope for much warmer weather over in England and Wales from around about the middle of the week onwards. So now back to tonight. There's still a few showers rattling on in northern areas, tending to ease off in central parts there. And as far as temperatures go, no problems whatsoever. So we go into our Monday morning on a bright, breezy note. A lot of brightness around. Showers from the wood go out to the west, 1 or 2 hefty ones as well. And then once again, during the course of the day, these showers tend to break out here, there and everywhere. Good scattering of showers. Even so, in the brighter slots in the southeast, for instance, we manage a high of 17 or 63 in Fahrenheit. That's all from me. Join me later if you can for a weather update.
Powergen. Power in good hands.
Next Sunday,
Another day, another heroic rescue.
some familiar faces return to our screens.
My father's a sick man, only in the head.
He's basically a poisonous snake roaming around the hospital.
How silly of me not to realise.
I don't need an examination, young man. I want a doctor.
Notes changed, does it?
And a new romance could be blossoming between old friends.
I'm never happier than when I'm just quietly with you.
A brand new series of The Royal starts next Sunday at 8, ITV1.
What is Voom? This chili has more, oh yes, than this one. Weird, no? No Voom. Okay. On one person it has Voom. Look, I don't make the rules. Voom is cool. Oh yes. But cool is not always Voom. No. Okay, which one has the Voom? As the rabbit. Is it joie de vivre? Or is it je ne sais quoi? Hey Bobby, what's the French for Voom?
Because starting inside tomorrow's Sun, there's a fantastic Scratch a Million game card. We've got a whopping 1 million to give away. 1 in 5 lucky readers will win a cash prize. That's 1 in 5 guaranteed winners.
June Ackland walks back into Sun Hill and straight into her worst dream.
The ring's not for you.
Mary Graham and I, we've got engaged.
But the end of one romance might just kickstart another. The Bill, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday at 8 on ITV1.
Switch on to ITV2 now for the stateside version of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Or stay with us on ITV1 for Sunday's Coronation Street in half an hour after a night to remember in Emmerdale.
I'll get that.
Thanks, Sheila.
Emmerdale sponsored by Heinz Salad Cream. It's all going on.
Hello? Tommy?